Come on, guys! Just get us out of here!
Okay, got it started! Punch it! Thank God!
The third subcategory will deal with the behavior of innocent children. Are they more likely than adults to explicitly stereotype in group? If yes, is it because they have been taught racism at home or anywhere else? And what is the average children's view of race? Does it correlate more with your typical anti-racist or more with your typical racist? Do they see race, and if yes, what values do they ascribe it? We can assume that children are more innocent and therefore better will expose our true human nature than their grown-up counterparts. However, we also know that children are more susceptible to propaganda, so perhaps children aren't the best examples.
A provocative new book is raising all sorts of new questions about when parents need to start talking to their kids about race. And it's a lot earlier than you think. In his book, Nurture Shock. Tonight, Poe Bronson says it's important for parents to confront their kids with some of these issues at a very young age. He says the science shows us that young children are often noticing skin color a lot younger than you think. Listen. And you also found that toddlers notice it even more so than differences in gender, right?
3-year-olds have handed a deck of cards with a bunch of kids' faces on them, and if you ask those 3-year-olds, pick out which ones will be your friends or would you'd like as friends, a vast majority of kids actually pick out friends only. And by the time they're 5 years old, if you hand them the same deck of cards and you ask them to sort it into 2 piles any way that they want and mention not race at all, the 5-year-olds, 16% will use gender to sort the piles, but 68% will use skin color to sort the piles.
So why? What's behind this, or what do we think is behind this?
Kids' brains are trying to categorize the world, Campbell, and they're trying to make sense of things. And by essentialism, they make this categorical mistake. They assume that people who look like them share the same things and like the same things that they like, and therefore are more similar to them. And what this hints at is that we shouldn't avoid talking about race to our kids, or especially avoid talking about skin color. Kids need to hear about skin color the same way they hear about gender. That boys and girls can grow up to do anything, that people of different skin color are all our friends, and it's a very neutral and safe way to talk about it.
But it's funny, I know there was also a lot of research you looked at that shows difficult for parents to have.
Many parents do find it uncomfortable to talk about race with their kids, but it's not just because they're afraid of race. It's more that they've decided, and I certainly was one of them, I had decided that it was hypocritical. I didn't want to point out to my daughter, well, people have different skin colors, and then point out, but skin color doesn't matter. No matter your skin color, you can be our friends. It seemed weird, like, why point it out if it doesn't matter? And so parents who want to embrace diversity are making the choice to avoid talking about race, thinking that is the very best way to raise their children. But the science is saying something different. But the science is saying something different. But the science is saying something different. It's saying that in the absence of communication from parents, young kids' brains, prone to categorization, will make errors and will make some of the wrong judgments. And it's very helpful. It's really good for kids to hear that people of all skin colors are equal. Young kids' brains, prone to categorization, will make errors and will make some of the wrong judgments. And it's very helpful. It's really good for kids to hear that people of all skin colors are equal and that nobody is inferior.
So what about older children who go to diverse schools? Does that change attitudes?
Unfortunately, what goes on is self-segregation in schools. And it turns out that self-segregation by skin color goes up as school diversity goes up. And the result is you can go to quite diverse schools and not necessarily be learning to embrace people of every race.
We brought together 3 groups of kids at this day camp.
Let me ask, you don't know this person, but what do you think he's like?
I think he's weird.
Why is he weird?
He just doesn't look like a very nice person, no. He looks like a scary dude.
He's on the phone. What's he talking about?
Maybe a robbery?
We then showed them pictures of a black man and a white man. What were some comments about the black man?
He looks mean. FBI most wanted. He looks weird. He looks like he's a basketball player.
So, tell me about this guy. Does he seem like a nice person?
I think he's nice. I think he's nice, except he might be mad about something.
He was probably picking up on something. This is Oklahoma City bomber Timothy McVeigh. But when we asked which man is a criminal, most kids pointed to the black man. And when we asked which was a teacher, they said,
that one! The guy in the green shirt.
There's a common school of thought that young children are naturally blind to racial constructs, so it's best to never talk about race and skin color to avoid teaching them to notice it.
We're going to show that that's all wrong. Being silent about race is a colossal mistake. The consequence of our misunderstanding is tragic. School diversity is backfiring. I mean, you'd like to think that the more diverse a school, the more likely it is you'll have a friend of another race.
But the science says it's the other way around. The more diverse the school, the less likely it is that a child will have a friend of another race. The premise of this book is that many of society's strategies for nurturing children are backfiring. Backfiring because key twists in the science have been overlooked.
So why are some kids anti-racist? Well, here's what I think it's about. Studies show that kids lie. They are catching on to it quite early, and the reason why they lie is because they learn that lying can help them escape punishment. And this is just a part of healthy, intelligent, well-adjusted kids. They learn to lie. And this applied to myself, and I'm sure it does apply to you, that you act politically correct, you avoid saying certain things that you would like to say because you want to escape punishment.
Show me the smart child. Okay, why is she the smart child?
Because she looks like me.
Okay. Show me the mean child. Okay, why is she the mean child?
Because she's way darker.
Okay. Show me the good child. Why is she the good child?
Because I think she looks like me.
Okay. Show me the bad child. Why is she the bad child?
Because she's a lot darker.
Show me the ugly child. Why is she the ugly child?
Because she's like, a lot darker.
What do you think? Shocking to you?
I just think it's because she's not exposed. I mean,
You're almost near tears. Why? Upset you? What's upsetting you?
it's not really upsetting. I mean, everything she said, she chose someone like her because she's smart, and she is.
All the good attributes. She's got a healthy ego. That looks like me. That kid's like me.
And as far as the one she chose for, being ugly or mean, I mean, I think that was an eye-opener for me because we've never really talked about race, so we talked a long time about it.
Show me the dumb child.
Dumb child.
Okay, why is she the dumb child?
Because she has black skin.
Okay. Show me the bad child. Why is he the bad child?
Because he's really dark.
Show me the dumb child. Why is she the dumb child?
Because she looks black.
Show me the good child. Why is she the good child?
Because she looks whiter.
Show me the child you would like to have as a classmate. Why would you like to have him as a classmate?
Because he's white.
Liberal psychology professor Lawrence A. Hirschfeld conducted a series of psychological experiments with young children, finding that knowledge of race is not derived from observations of physical differences, nor does it develop in the same way as knowledge of other social categories. 3-year-old children distinguish inherited characteristics from uninherited ones. One of Hirschfeld's tests was to show a group of images to the children portraying people of various races, ages, gender, body builds, and occupations. He then asked of them to create groups of these images. Children were then interviewed about why they grouped them in the way that they chose. The result was that children chose to group people not based on similar occupation, not based on similar age, not based on gender, and not based on body build, but based on race. Children understood the mutability of body build, of age, of occupation the test chose, but realized the immutability and consistency of gender and race, but chose to place more value in race than in gender. As races breed through generation after generation, all the whites, regardless of gender, is coming from the same ancestral background and will, if they don't leave the group, continue to breed whites of all possible genders, and thus race was implicitly understood as the common denominator for both genders, occupations, and body builds. A person can change his body, his occupation, and his age will change, and although gender is immutable according to children, both sexes share their individual race, and thus children emphasize and value ancestry more than occupation, body build, and age. And because they value ancestry, realize that genders are complementing each other and are subordinated race. For example, if you show preschoolers drawings of people and ask them to match their children with their parents, they will consistently tell you that the skinny white child is the child of the fat white parent, while the fat black child belongs to the skinny black parent, or vice versa. In Race in the Making, Hirschfeld argues that knowledge of race is not derived from observations of physical difference, nor does it develop in the same way as knowledge of other social categories. Instead, his central claim is that racial thinking is the product of a special purpose cognitive competence for understanding and representing humankind. The common claim that young children have to be taught to distinguish races is simply not true. It has been studied extensively in controlled experiments. In Race in the Making, the liberal anthropology professor Lawrence A. Hirschfeld sums up the findings. As comforting as this view may be, children, I will show in this book, are more than aware of diversity. They are driven by endogenous curiosity to uncover it. Children, I will also show, do not believe race to be a superficial quality of the world. Multicultural curricula aside, few people believe that race is only skin deep. Certainly few 3-year-olds do. They believe that race is an intrinsic, immutable, and essential aspect of a person's identity. Moreover, they seem to come to this conclusion on their own. They do not need to be taught that race is deep property. They know it themselves already." Close quote.
Mo